One. Hey guys.
Hey guys,
Yeah, we're back.
it's episode 4 for
Yeah,
now.
it is technically 4 because our first episode got lost into the nether, never to be
Yeah,
seen.
episode 4, episode 3.
Yeah.
With your host, uh, Sunfee.
World. Or John.
Giordano here.
Yeah.
John, yeah. Sorry.
All right.
Satan himself. No.
Well, we should get into the what this week's recommended anime is, which is High Card. Now, before we get into the bigger surprise for today's episode. Now, I personally loved it. I thought its visuals, its the way it's writing its story, and how intriguing the power system seems to be, definitely sold me. What's your guys' take?
I'm interested in this definitely for High Card. After watching the first episode, I kind of definitely got the vibes of, as I stated before with my two colleagues here, I got the vibe of Spy X Family mixed with Kamen Rider is the vibe that I kind of got with it. It was like that kind of writing style and that kind of like world building and action, and yeah, that's kind of the vibe that I'm getting off of it right now. John, what about you?
I looking at it and like watching the first episode, I thought it was kind of cool. The opening, what really caught my eye, the cars flying everywhere. I'm like, oh, this is gonna be interesting. Like, I think it was pretty good. The main character that we have, I thought he was kind of okay.
Did we even get his name? I don't remember his
No, I don't
name.
think we ever did.
Hey, I thought I knew what his name was, and it's like,
We did. I also can't remember. It's one of my newer favorite animes of the season, but I can't remember for the life of me. I just call him
Punk?
Punk.
Okay. For the rest of this review for now, until future selves decide to actually kind of insert the name of what the main character is, probably in clips. Sean over there, not claiming any responsibility at all. Okay, no problem. We can play that game. So we'll just call this guy
I have to
Punk
edit
for
it.
now.
I'm not gonna do it.
All right, sure, no problem. Remember that, future John. That's what your past self said. We'll see. Anyway, right. So Punk. The best way to describe him is modern day Robin Hood. Would you guys agree with that statement?
Yeah.
Yeah, I could definitely say that. I definitely agree with it, but not in like the more standard trope of modern day Robin Hood. Like, I could vibe with him. I could vibe with his ideas of wanting to take care of the orphanage
and his like the place that he kind of either grew up in or they kind of like hinted at that probably, or that's probably the only reason why he's doing it in the first place along those lines. Probably has further motivation down the road if I watch the other next episodes or two. Let's see here. The world building itself though, like the lore and stuff like that, like obviously it's like not our world, but it's not like an isekai world either. It's a very weird, like pseudo-real world, kind of like what Spy X Family was trying to go for, where it had Westrella and Eastberla or something like that. I'm trying to remember the names of Spy X Family, where it's basically a placeholder for these real-world locations, like Goldland.
Oh, I got his name. It's Finn Oldman.
What kind of a dumbass name is that? Finn Oldman?
Yep.
Oh, no, I'm glad we're calling him Punk. Punk ass! Punk ass is more like it. No, I refuse to call him Old Man. Finn Oldman? What kind of a name is that? Why?
You say Ben
okay,
or
Finn, I can probably
I keep hearing
understand.
Ben.
Ben?
Is it Finn Oldman or Ben Oldman? I don't know how the hell I'm hearing
Finn.
Ben.
Finn. Finn.
Finn. Okay.
Like a tail fin, but with an extra N. Yes. Okay. So, oh man, he is kind of fun. I kind of get a vibe to him, but it's like, also, like, I was on the whole, like, world building and stuff like that, where everything is like a placeholder for, like, real world locations. Goldland is obviously Vegas. Let's not lie, it's freaking Vegas. If you've been to Vegas, you know what Vegas looks like. Then there was also, like, that castle place, which I guess might have been a reference to Europe of some kind. I'm not entirely certain. And then there's the place where the orphanage that Finn grew up in. Not punk ass, although I kind of wish I called him punk ass. I will not call him old man. And
Ullman.
I
right,
believe
so,
what I believe it is a reference to is the game Old Man, the card game Old Man.
well, if that's the
Ooh.
case, give it to an actual old man. Why would you call a? He's not even like above 20 by the looks of the series. He's like what, 17?
No, he's 20. No, he's 20. He's
20?
19, I believe. He's
What?
19.
19? Okay, he
Yeah.
looks younger. Huh.
Like if you continue when you guys continue the anime, you're gonna I don't want to spoil anything for the viewers, but it will make sense why I say he is old enough.
Okay, no problem. Got it.
You want this
let's
card? Coming to the strip club, kid.
John. But how about animation wise? Because like the art style is definitely clean looking, like very, very clean.
It's beautiful.
Oh, I will give it that.
I don't know how else to describe it other than maybe like I don't know, like I guess Akami Got Killed kind of has that nice look to it too. Even though I've never watched the show, I've seen the trailers and the clips here and there, and I will not deny that it has a similar gorgeous art style of clean cuts and vibrant colors and very smooth motion with the characters. Like whenever somebody moves, you definitely don't see any kind of like stiff movements unless they're like quick, fast, sudden movements. Everything that's like like a long kick, it has all one smooth animation. Or if it's like, somersaults or jumping, they're all smooth animations. They look really, really nice. They definitely put a lot of time and effort into every animation cell for this show. The music's also really cool. Although, oddly enough, that's where the Kamen Rider comparison came from, because it has that nice jazzy and kind of like hip-hop kind of mixed in there too. I love the way the soundtrack kind of goes. Although there was one moment during a chase scene in the first episode where they start playing a trumpet, and when I hear that trumpet, I'm like, Thunderbolt, Gundam Thunderbolt, is that you? How the hell did you get into this show? Go back to the Gundam Thunderbolt, Trumpeteer. We need you in that show. Don't be here, Trumpeteer. We need you in Thunderbolt. Get the Thunderbolt third movie out already. Where are you, goddammit?
Okay, Rant. But what I find is so fascinating about the anime is everything about the anime is a card game reference.
Yeah, it is, isn't it? You want to lay down that for us, my good friend? Like, explain to me, like, all the references, for example. Like,
For example, they have a school called Rummy.
Ah, yeah, they do.
Okay,
cool.
that is quite clever. I'll give them that.
And there's more references along the way, like from someone is continually right now watching it. It is a very current anime, guys, so don't have to worry about that.
Go check it out on Crunchyroll if you're able to.
Even the power system is based. Each power's name is based off of a different card game, I fully believe.
Okay. How long until Yu-Gi-Oh gets referenced?
Oh, that's gonna be funny.
Well,
no.
it's more of like the 52
I know. It's meant to be like older card games, like ones you play with a 52 deck playing card deck.
So the thematics of the anime, I think, is amazing. Like, I have not seen an anime so thematic.
I agree with that, but I think with the power system, I think, although I see what you're going with, like the card names being tied to the powers, I think it actually is the cards themselves.
Oh, you think it's like, so it's kind of more like ante, kind of like where it's like the higher the card suit and the number, the better it is?
Yeah, that I picked up on because that made me think was we have the main character versus the fat gambler guy that never lost the game.
because of his 10 clubs, was it? 10, no, 10 diamonds. It was 10 diamonds he had. 10 of diamonds that he had, which made him, like, super duper lucky.
Mm.
But then the guy with the marbles comes in and he has an 11, I think he had, right?
Mm.
Or, yeah, it was an 11 of some kind, like 11 hearts, I think.
Mm.
I'm trying to remember what the card number was, but it's like, it definitely, I can see the ante thing with that.
Mm.
But then the ante...
No, I believe it was a 7. I'll have to rewatch it, but I
Yeah,
believe it was a 7.
Right, but I mean, it's like
What
the main...
actually let's speed up along because
We got a lot of shit
we'll-
to do.
We do have a lot of shit to do.
we
Yeah.
have a lot of shit to do. Plus, we may or may not get back to this later down on this podcast. So, our group rating,
Group rating.
is,
Yep.
our fellow ratings make this one very interesting because John gives it a 6, Choo Choo Dino gives it a 7.5, and I give it a 10. So, as a group rating, it actually makes it out to be a solid 7.
A lot of our ratings kind of end around 7 somehow. I think the highest we've ever gotten was an 8.
I mean, eventually one of us is going to be like, this is going to be we're going to run into that one anime where one person just despises it, and the rest of them are going to be like, it's meh, or it's really good. So we'll run into that eventually. I have a very bad feeling it's going to be one of those isekai. It's going to be one of those isekai animes, isn't it? That's going to break this group apart.
Anyways, now that we have that fun thing out of the way, for our first big fun thing, we are going to be, as individuals, we will be comparing and contrasting our top 10 anime lists.
So, top 10 anime list, right?
Yep.
Okay, let me get my list out here. Here we go.
Obviously, your top 10 anime list is subject to change as time goes on, and time will go on. And as we watch more and more anime, eventually our changes will be different.
I thought you were about to say they would be the death of us.
Alright, so
That's awkward.
we also kind of proclaim here that we have no real set rules or guidelines for this list. It's just animes that we enjoy, basically. Right. Okay. So who wants to go first then? Who wants to fire the first bullet?
I will let you guys, one of you two guys, go first.
I think you should go first, Sunfei. You seem very energized to push this forward. Where's my deck of cards to show you I've won?
He's shy. He's just shy.
No, I'm trying to take it.
Alright, if it'll make you guys feel better, I can take the first shot. Let's do this. I'm ready to go. I'm ready.
Okay.
Okay, so number 10. This one is a light of heart anime, but it also has a lot of heart that goes into it. It is known as Fruits Basket. Have you guys seen this one?
Fruit Basket?
I think
I have
seen
that
it before.
Right, so...
may I ask why you have it that high?
I have it this high mostly because of the storytelling and the beautiful animation. But it's not super duper high on the list because I don't really have that much of a high emotional attachment to it. Rather, it's linked to one of my brothers. Because my brother actually, saw the anime once on not Adult Swim, it was Adult Swim, wasn't it? Like on one of the later night showings and stuff like that, or Toonami, one of the two. And he wanted to watch more of it. And eventually we were able to, find it on YouTube before, YouTube kind of was like dropping a hammer on things and stuff like that. So, long story short, I have a little bit of nostalgia for it in that sense, in that regard, but it didn't really fully draw me in when I watched the original airing. Fruits Basket, though, that I think is even better, though, is the actual reboot that happened not too long ago. And when I did and gave it a fresh new start of watching this anime, I realized how very powerful this show is. It definitely is about talking and trying to, figure things out, and a little bit of the Soma family, mystery behind it. And, but let's just be honest here, all the characters look very appealing, regardless of, where they come from. They
agree with that.
just look nice. They look very, very nice. Although the other thing that makes it at 10 is because I don't remember its music that much. There's not a very musical moments in the anime. It's like very generic, soft, nice, feel good music, or silly comedic ones, or tries to pull at your heartstrings, but it's just a generic pull at your heartstrings song. The story itself, though, just nah. And that's why this anime, Fruits Basket, is number 10 on my list. Go ahead. Let's see you fired your round. Let's do this.
Alright. Yeah, John, what's your number 10?
No, I think you should go Sunfee.
Why is he waiting?
No, you.
No,
I'm a little
no, I
scared
insist.
here. You planning something? Oh dear.
I insist.
Well,
you
the
go.
way I'm thinking about it is we go on a snake draft, so I'll do 2, and then that way it's go snake draft.
How about we
Stage.
just go Choo Choo, Sunfee, me, Choo Choo.
Why do you want to go last, motherfucker?
Why the fuck do you want to go last, dipshit?
Because
You guys got two
someone
animes
that
on
rambled.
the same number, don't you? You guys are gonna have the same anime on your list, aren't you?
Oh, definitely not. Definitely not. I know that for a fact it's not.
Hmm.
I just know that if I say my number 10, it's going to cause a lot of talking about. So I'm trying to save it for later.
Is it,
I mean,
is
I
it
kept
Boku no
mine
Pico?
short to the point.
Sunfee, is it Boku no Pico?
No, it is not that.
Sorry.
Let's just say.
Why would you say such a cursed name on the stream? Why? Why would you do
Move
that?
back, move back. Fuck. Bleh.
Let's just say that this anime is something that I've watched with one of the co-hosts on here.
Oh, dear God.
Oh dear God.
So I know that it would just turn into a bunch of fanboyism. So I'm trying to keep before we get derailed. I want to make sure that it's given to someone that actually won't derail it.
Okay.
Alright, how about this then? How about we try a rock, paper, scissors,
I will go. Boys, I have one that I want to talk about. So this is the one that we like, but it's at number 10.
Yep.
Yeah.
So my list is kind of weird. It was mostly a lot of anime I really liked. I had to kind of figure out which ones I like more than others.
I mean, same
So-
thing with me.
For number 10, I put down Heaven's Lost Property.
Excuse me?
Okay.
What the heck's that?
So I watched this when I think I was like in 6th grade or something. I was very small. The anime's premise is heaven's angels have fallen down to earth, and some horny ass kid pretty much enslaves these angels.
John,
Yeah.
John,
Mm-hmm.
this anime,
you of all people. Okay then.
out of curiosity,
Mm-hmm.
where did you watch this anime?
Netflix.
I don't believe you at all. Netflix? You
It's
said
on
you said,
It was on
It's on
Netflix.
Netflix.
It is.
It's on Netflix.
where did you see this originally?
Netflix.
When you were no,
Yes.
no. Like you rented on DVD Netflix, like Netflix before they was streaming.
Netflix streaming service.
It was just starting out.
Mhm.
Joy, wonderful. Okay, is this allowed to be speaked of in public, or
It's
does it
not
have
a
an H letter
hentai.
attached
It's more
to
of
it?
like.
It is not a hentai.
It's not.
Checking here, just double checking. Continue with your synopsis, my friend. I'm very curious here.
So it's number 10 because it was one of the first animes I kind of watched, and I watched through it and went, this story's actually kind of good. It's got some kind of like funny moments of the main character being a perv and getting his ass kicked many times.
Ah, yes, the classic trope.
Yep. But it's also got kind of like it's got some very nice kind of wholesome moments since the two angels this guy enslaves pretty much.
Yeah.
One of them is kind of like very much android like if you give her I remember at some
Command,
point
she'll follow it through.
yeah, any.
Oh, it's one of those types.
Yeah,
Uh-oh.
and
See the shenanigans now.
I remember like, so angels can't really cry, but at some point like the guy's just like, hey, listen, you are amazing, you mean a lot to me, and something very heartwarming. The angel cries, and I'm like, oh, that's kind of sweet.
Yeah.
I just thought it was kind of nice.
Okay.
Hey, that's positive. That's very, very positive. I like that.
Now some.
So,
All right, my number 10. Gundam Build Fighters Try.
hey, would you look at that? He actually put a Gundam show on his list. Yay! Although I do question the legality of it, but I digress. So why is Build Fighters Try on the list and not Build Fighters Original? That's what I'm curious about.
Honestly, if you had asked me before I had started getting to the end of Try, it would have been original.
Ah.
But the amount of story dedication, the amount of character development, I feel overshadows the original. I
Overshadows.
feel each character, especially the three main characters,
Yeah.
get more fleshed out and more of a chance to feel beloved. And it doesn't make me cry.
Okay, so that's an interesting little tidbit. Why does it matter if it makes you cry or not?
Because then I call it bullshit and I associate bullshit with the anime.
All right. So I take it then you enjoyed the animation and the characters, and it's like the
Oh,
fight
I
scene.
loved it. I love the fight scenes. That's like the biggest reason why it's so high up here. It's like its fight scenes were amazing. I was not expecting half of those fights.
I guess that means now we gotta get John to join the bandwagon, huh? Join us.
This is why. This is why.
I just had to do that. That's gonna get clipped. I just know it. I know it will. It's okay, John. It's okay, John. If you are interested, let us know. I will be your guide. Do not worry. You will be safe in travels when you travel with me, my friend. But if not interested, that's totally cool too. Cause yeah.
I feel like I was just threatening to join a cult, and then the same guy went, hey, it's okay. Here, have some Kool-Aid.
Exactly.
Don't worry. We're gonna take a trip.
I know what would have happened.
Don't worry. We're gonna take a trip together in my van. You don't have a van, I know. Drink the Kool-Aid. It's filled with acid.
I had to do the skit. I had to. I had to go down that route. I was like, I had to. It would be nice, John, if you did give it a shot. But it's like it's totally up to you though. Like you do you. So we moving on to number 9 now.
Yes.
Number 9.
All right. All right. Let me pull my list back up again. What the hell did I write down? Oh yeah, that's right. Next one on the list is one that I found by complete accident. I believe I saw it either on Crunchyroll when I first got a Crunchyroll account or Netflix, one of the two. The anime's name is Darker Than Black. I have that at number 9. Mostly because I enjoy the story. I love the music, especially that opening. Like, I love Darker Than Black's opening song, especially so it's done by the same guys that do a lot of other animes that I kind of enjoy now because like they're really really good. They also did Sengoku Bazara's like all of their openings, and it's just they're so good. Anyway, the story synopsis of Darker Than Black, for those who don't know, is basically it's like this world is run by a bunch of people that are either normies or contractors. People with contractors basically are very similar to what they do in High Card, where they all have abilities. For example, in the first episode, a guy has the ability to fly, but after flying, he has to break one of his fingers, as according to the contract. However, the main protagonist, who I do not remember his name, but I just simply know him as a Chinese electric Batman because of an anime reviewer who actually look at him because it basically
Yeah,
is.
yeah.
He basically fights against these other contractors for like the big mafia bosses, or people who want to like take these down criminals because contractors are usually related to crimes and they usually don't do a lot of good stuff with their contracts. And so the main protagonist basically has one with his electric powers, but he doesn't have a condition behind it. He doesn't have to do anything bad. They assume that it's because he eats a lot that he actually, that's his contract, but it's never really stated otherwise in the show, and there's a good reason for that. So if you ever watch Dark Dragon Black, you'll find out why. Uh, the other thing behind it is like the music is amazing. I love the music. I just mentioned that before with the opening. Animation is very top notch. It definitely has that mid 2000s or mid to late 2000 era kind of animation where it's like very fluid in the fight scenes, and then it's kind of like those stiff talking moments, but it's like just it still looks nice. It's very 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 nice looking, especially the lighting. I don't know why, but Darker Than Black has really good lighting. Like everybody has like the right amount of shadows. It has the right amount of angles and cuts, and it's like there's like you can tell dusk, dawn, morning, or like fog, and just the lighting's just really good in Darker Than Black. I really love it. So that's what I gotta say, and that's why Darker Than Black on my list is at number 9. Your guys' thoughts about that?
It's also on my list.
Can't wait to hear where it is on your list, John. Matter of fact, I think you're going next. Am I correct?
Yes.
It's number 9 on your list, John.
No, it's not.
I've only seen the first, I think, 2 episodes, so I can't really put my horse in that race.
Okay.
I really enjoyed Dark and Black, and it's a bit higher on my list than number 9 because it was just like it was. I really enjoyed the story. I enjoyed our main character, and like it. I also went from like watching. I binge watching Dexter and then watching Darker Than Black. So I'm like anime,
Nice. All right, that's pretty rad.
less murder, but even more awesomeness.
Murder.
Plus, like all the villains just made sense too. They just seemed such shitty people.
Their contracts also made sense too with their characters. A lot like in like Yu-Gi-Oh, where Kazuki Takahashi had all the main characters have like dual monsters that represent their personalities. Yugi with Dark Magician, Kaiba with Blue Eyes. And the contractors, it's like you have this really big burly dude with like some kind of gravity power. But yeah, really big strong dude, and then it's like oddly enough, his contract though is that he's supposed to eat grass afterwards. There's this opera singing lady though, where she has this hyper voice attack or just like blasts of burst air coming out of her. But then afterwards, she has to eat something and then spit it back out. But in order to do that, she usually goes for like chewing tobacco or like cigarettes because it's easier to upchuck that than it is regular food. So yeah, it gets really interesting with the contracts and like how they work and what they do, much like how High Card kind of works. So I think that's kind of why I like High Card too. I mean, keep going back to that damn show.
Didn't we say we absolutely hated High Card too?
I know, it's weird. It's very, very weird. But yeah, so what was your number 9 again?
So my number 9, let me get it up. So from this point onwards, it gets a lot more normal. So my number 9 is Vampire Knight, also on Netflix, and it is the anime version of a chick flick. No, sorry. Pretty much anime version of Twilight.
It's the anime version of Twilight.
Exactly.
Why is this number 9?
Because it was one of the first animes I watched all the way through, and I enjoyed the story.
Oh no, you poor boy.
Yep. Yeah.
Anything else to add to it?
Pretty much like the base. Like it's not too bad. I still think it's not too bad of a story. The characters are kind of all right. The action's pretty good. But
It's the fan service, isn't it?
there's a hell of a lot of fan service for any gender.
Yeah, I figured.
Yeah.
I figured.
And like it's also got such like a like we deal like this small girl that's completely like wandering in this new world. There's like the daytime students and the nighttime students. Guess which one's vampires? I'll let you have a guess. But
Yeah.
it's the night students. But yeah, so So she's like, "Oh my god, there's this guy. He's so hot and so protective." But there's also this other guy who's got white hair
Uh-huh.
instead of black hair, and I also really like
Yep.
him.
Strange. Hair color. Two guys. The female protagonist likes them. Dun, dun, dun. Hmm. Sounds familiar.
It's cool, but then like gets really stupid towards the end, and like, wait, how does that connect? But I didn't think it was too bad. It's number 9.
Alright.
Yeah.
So, not totally
Alright,
bad.
So my number 9 is Misfit of Demon Academy, another anime that I watched with one of our with this one I watched with John. Back when COVID was a thing.
It's still a thing.
Yeah,
It's
but
less of
not like a super duper crazy thing. It's still a bad thing, but it's like it's not we would like
The
we would like to
apocalypse.
fix
It's better.
like, not apocalyptic at least. Yeah, so far at least. Yeah.
So I loved it because of the main character and how he interacted with the world. This man, Anos Voldigold, does not give any fucks.
You sure like those kind of
You
characters,
must-
don't you?
He does not give the fuck. He does not give the walking fuck. He does not give the running fuck, and he sure does not give the flying fuck. He is so amazing, but he's also super protective over his friends that he's made. And he's like, "Look, I don't care what you do to me. I'm not gonna stand for it. But the moment you touch one of my crew, I'm gonna put you 10 feet under there, and then just keep putting you more 10. I'm gonna just keep putting
Oh,
you
that's
under the
10 feet.
ground."
Okay,
Sadly,
that sounds kind of fun.
Sadly, that did not end up on my list. But the two things I can't remember from that show is the day that the main character was born, and, and then the second part is something I've used with one of the characters I've made in my own D&D game. At least the
Yeah.
energy of it. There was some scene, a bit of a spoiler, but nothing too insane. But our main character gets dueled by some other guy. So the main character goes, "Okay, I'm just gonna kill you and keep reviving you."
Oh shit.
Yep.
Oh, wow.
And the way he kills him is truly brutal. He kills him with his heartbeat.
Yeah.
Shit. Ah, dude.
Mother, father, I am your child. Hello. He shit you not. He speaks normally. I think like when the show starts, he's I think like 16 days old or some shit. He's like young. He just grew fast.
Exactly.
Like Alucard in the Netflix.
It's hilarious.
Yes.
It's the animation is beautiful. The OST. I don't really go for like. I don't watch openings and I don't watch endings, but this anime, its music is just amazing.
Okay. So your number
So-
9 spot is.
Misfit of Demon Academy. It is now your turn.
Oh yeah, Misfit of Demon Camera. That's right. All right, so number 8 spot. Here we go. This one is one that I did not watch until years later, and I actually didn't hear much about this show until I actually found it by total mistake when I was looking for other mecha shows. Because after I got my fix of one of the entries on this list of robots and stuff like that, we'll get to that. Don't worry. But for the number 8 spot, I found this one by complete accident, and I fell in love with it. It is known as Big O. Have you guys ever watched Big O?
No, I have not.
The audience at home, Big O is kind of a very strange combination mixture of giant mecha robot shows meets Batman meets film noir meets Sin City, kind of. The best way I describe it is because the synopsis goes like this. There was this one day in this entire town, everyone forgot everything from the past 20 years. Nobody remembers anything else. Anybody below the age of 20 don't even remember if they have parents or not. So the whole city is just kind of like, okay, now we gotta just live like this. We don't remember our past. And the main protagonist, Roger Smith, is a negotiator. And his job is to, try to negotiate with, like, multiple different parties and try to keep the peace. He's kind of like a cop, but more like private investigator, private enforcer, is kind of what he is. And he does this all with, like, his, crime fighting skills and abilities and his, technology and like his finance. Like he has books and papers, but he can't really read them. So it's like he tries to look back at his past, and so does everybody else. So it even adds more of an enigma and mystery of this entire city. Whenever anybody tries to leave the city, they never come back. And so that's why a lot of people are scared to go beyond the boundaries and kind of like, we just live here now. But as they do, they run into mega deuces. Not mega douches, but like mega deuce. Like Deus Machina.
Mega douches? The mega douche, man.
Right,
Hey
yeah,
guys,
I know.
just got back. I just took a mega
I wanted to
deuce.
make that joke. So, they usually appear once in a while, and mostly criminal gangs usually get their hands on them. Other giant monsters appear. And, of course, Roger Smith fights them with Dorothy, which is one of the people that he actually becomes friends with in the show, with Big O, which he commands with a wristwatch to summon, hops into the damn thing, and, just pilots it. And it's really, really, really fun. That's why I said combination of Batman, super giant robot mechs, and a little bit of Sin City. Probably a little bit of that. It's just also really, really good. I just love the art style, love the music, and the story itself is strange as hell. I only saw the first season, so I'm even putting it on the list, and I haven't even finished the show yet. I've only gotten halfway through. I can't find season 2 on Crunchyroll because it's not on there. I tried Verve, and then it's like, well, I guess I'll try to buy the Blu-ray for $500. So, yeah, I guess I'm not gonna see season 2 for a while then. Yeah, but it's a great show. I definitely would recommend it, even if you can't finish it all the way. So, John, you're next for number 8.
Give me one quick second. Let me pull it up. One small thing before we just move on to mine. When you say like no one remembers anything from 20 years, I'm just imagining like a bunch of like 20-year-old like teenagers just like all standing around, just a pulse just all fall on their face. They forget how to walk, how to breathe.
I mean, that probably would be kind of freaking terrifying. Yeah, probably how a lot of people might have died.
Yeah.
So probably. But if you were like, 10 years old 20 years ago, you just become like either a kid again, or you freak out because it's like you don't know where you are, and then it's like you start remembering that, oh yeah, I'm supposed to be this old, but I can't remember anything else. And that's what freaks a lot of people out in that town, and that's why there's a lot of chaos and crime, and it's super awesome though. I definitely would recommend watching Big O. It is available on Verve or Crunchyroll, John. So if you ever want to get a chance to, check it out.
So my number, it'd be number 8.
8.
Mine is funny enough, Darker Than Black.
Hey, okay, so you put Darker Than Black one number higher.
Yep.
Why is it one number higher than mine? Why do you want Darker Than Black at 8?
So I'm a very big action guy, and Darker Than Black, like I love the soundtrack, the characters, the animation. It just really got to me. And, like, although like it's I'm a fantasy guy, but like I like to be able to see some kind of connections to realism. That how it all kind of came together worked. Our main character is kind of just what he wears to fight crime, or Dexter his way around.
Yeah.
Really got to me. I mean, like one of the episodes that really just snapped in my head was I think it was like an episode about like these 2 reporters that like they were about to get fired. Their things were gonna get shut down, so they're like, hey, yeah, we gotta go figure out about what's going on with this weird guy. So let's
man, yeah.
Yeah, let's go have a look.
Let's unmask him.
Yeah, let's go unmask him.
I remember that episode.
Yeah.
Oh my god, I remember that episode. It felt so weird and completely out of place, but I loved it nonetheless because it's like this is anime in a nutshell. This is the funny episode. This is the fun time episode out of this extremely depressing show. Oh god.
Like I love all the characters, and the power system works, and I love it. That's why it's there.
Power system.
Plus a badass main character that can look completely fine and normal, and then be a serial killer at the flip of a coin.
So that's your Batman.
Yeah. That's all. And let me know if either of you guys or anyone in the chat realizes any kind of any kind of trail that I have for my top 10 list. There's quite a few in there that it's gonna make some sense.
Okay,
So what's
So-
up, Sunfee? What's yours?
my number 8. Before I say my number 8, I will say that it's quite hilarious that our number 8s all take place. I haven't seen Big O, but I've heard that it takes place in like a type of our Earth.
Mm-hmm.
So it takes us in our Earth, and they're all different concepts. Because mine, we have actually reviewed this. It is Blue Lock.
Ah, here we go. Okay, Blue Lock.
Okay.
You have it at 8.
Yes. This
Right.
anime, from when we first reviewed it,
Mm-hmm.
I was hooked. Because I've liked these type of. I've always been fascinated by the elimination type of trope. I have always been a fan of that. That's why I'm a big fan of tournament style arcs and anime and stuff like that. But mostly, and you guys can kind of agree with me, when it comes to the elimination style, they usually like say, "Hey, everybody's going to die.
Yeah.
There's no happy end."
No happy ending. Nope, not here. Not at all. Nope.
With this anime, yeah, people's dreams are getting crushed. But you know what would be a lot worse?
Mm-hmm.
If the people died. It's almost like
You all might have noticed, you all have a soccer ball. If you lose any of these games, the soccer ball will explode, and you will die.
No, you're shitting me. They don't go that insane, do they?
No.
no,
It would be
they don't.
hilarious, though.
But
no,
it,
please, I praised it for not being a death anime. Like, please,
it is
don't
not.
do
It's
that.
not. It's not. It's not. It's not. I promise
Ugh.
you, it's not. But
Thank
it's
God.
very. It gets with the main character. You definitely feel when he scores a win. You feel it.
Mhm.
I felt every emotion the guy was going through, and I'm not even big into sports. You can kind of feel that with for example, our podcast, our Twitch channel, we are fighting an uphill battle,
Hell battle of
just like the main, just because we want to become Twitch affiliate, we want to become that.
The sooner we become that, the more stuff we can give out for free. So bring us there,
Exactly.
Ooh, fun
viewers.
stuff.
Sub, give us
Exactly.
money. We need money.
Oh, well,
I will sell you one choo-choo.
no.
We will
I have not condoned this. I have not condoned this in the slightest.
Too bad. This is
I will
Too bad you-
for an
you
extra
signed the
dollar,
non-existent
making it a total of
contract.
$2. I will sell you a choo-choo and a sun fee.
I'm
Wow,
offended.
hey, wait a minute.
You would sell me for
Wait a
$2
minute.
with the chicken?
$3.
Okay,
You all
maybe
gone
it's-
crazy.
Maybe.
Anyway,
You were saying-
Yeah,
Yeah.
sorry.
you can definitely feel as someone with this something that is his dream. Like this has been my dream since I was a little kid. I can feel every moment that he has, every struggle, every fight that he's doing to keep his dream alive. I feel it.
Pretty cool.
So that's why it's my number 8. It's very relatable to me.
Sunfee, do you mean that as in like us as a team or
Or as yourself, I'm curious now.
as yourself? If you pay
Becoming
me to
a
be your
content
editor,
creator.
I will work. I will not complain.
As a content creator, it's always been my dream. Having the ability to share my dream with my friends makes it even better.
All right, I'll take that answer. All right, you ready for number 7?
Number 7, Burger King foot lettuce. Woo!
one
Woo!
is going to be a strange one, but
Mm.
also a very obscure one, I think. Don't know if you guys know it or not. I'll mostly go with the synopsis here. So we have Fuyuki and Natsumi, who basically both live together in a small house in Japan.
Mm.
Well, I believe it's either that or like some kind of district in Tokyo. However, one day, they were able to accidentally stumble across a strange creature that appeared in their house with invisible wallpaper, holding a very strange spherical object. Do you know what this show is?
Harry Potter.
No.
Harry Potter.
Ah, Keroro Gunzo.
Speaking of which, side note, us
Ah.
at
Mm.
us at TPK Otakus will not be playing the game, but we do not condone anyone calling out a person out of their name who does decide to play it. You do not have, if you want to, I understand not wanting to give money to um, the turf known as J.K. Rowling. I understand that. I understand not wanting to play the game, but you do not have the right to call someone out of their
Mm.
name just for playing the video game.
And we're not gonna play it because we can't afford it. So
Can't afford it.
yep.
Plus, we have no real reason to play it.
Yeah, like maybe if it goes on sale down the road, we might play it. But I don't know. For right now, we got Lego Harry Potter. We had Lego Harry Potter. I lost it.
Yes, you lost it in the war.
I did. Back in the War of 1870. Welcome back, Choo Choo.
There you are, Choo Choo.
So, yeah. Anyways, no Hogwarts Legacy, sadly, unless it goes on sale or we get paid. You don't have to give us money. We're just idiots and we like making fun of stuff.
Exactly. No, Choo Choo Dino.
Yes, go on, I'm sorry.
We are sorry. I know.
We're deaf.
we're we're a deaf able stream now. You can now understand everything.
Why the fuck am I mimicking? Unplug the mic and put it back in. We do not make fun of the deaf.
Hello?
Hi.
Can you guys see?
Yes, we can.
Computer is doing something weird, and I'm trying, but it's like I'll have to use my cell phone for this, I guess.
Okay, that's alright.
Because mic just on me, and I don't know why. Okay, hang on. You guys still see me?
Yep.
Okay, 1 second. I think I can do this at the same time. So Gunzo's on the list, right? Okay,
Yes.
so just leave that here for a second. Here we go. So now that that's been done, now the reason why I have Keroro Gunzo on the list at number 7 was mostly because it's another one of those animes that I ran into by complete accident. I believe it was like on YouTube.
Sorry, that's a theme now.
Yeah, well, it's because of these shows that are already complete accident. I just tend to love them. From the synopsis I gave, basically, Sergeant Frog, aka Keroro Gunzo, is all about Keroro and his, what shall we say, unique gang of frog alien invaders from the planet of Picopan, which basically want to take over Earth. However, if they can't take over Earth, they will use their Keroro ball.
Sergeant Frog, that's what you're talking about. Okay.
Yes, I'm talking about Sergeant Frog. You know Sergeant Frog. You know the synopsis for this then, right?
Now I know what you're talking about. I haven't seen all of it, but I know what you're talking about.
Keroro Gunzo, aka Sergeant Frog, is a very unique kind of show. It definitely is a slice of life anime, but well, in a very obscure, strange, and really, really wacky sense. And it mostly just centers around the whole lazy invader or something like that, or like I don't want to take over this planet. In all honesty, I know it's my job to do this, but I'm like, It's basically what the whole show is just about, with Keroro and Trim trying to avoid taking over the Earth because, well, He likes this shit. It's because of this he has not taken over the Earth. If we did not have Gunpla, he would have turned on the ball, pressed the button, and all life on Earth would have been eradicated. So, you might want to thank Sunrise for making these model kits here, and Bandai too. You might want to thank them for that.
I'm gonna press the button. No, wait. Give me one reason. We took one of these. Is that a Gundam?
Yes, yes, it is, and yeah, it just basically it's a bunch of hijinks and shenanigans. There isn't really a continuing plot. I mean, technically there is Kararo Gunzo trying to take over the world, but that never really succeeds to do so. And even if he were to, he'd be too lazy to figure out what to do next afterwards. So that's basically the synopsis of Kararo Gunzo. That's why I love it so much of how crazy and weird. But I prefer the Japanese dub and not the Funimation English dub, because if you try watching the English dub, it has aged like sour milk. It is horrendously bad. Like, they make so many dated references. It's like, it's not even funny. Because the original Japanese version makes minor references here and there, pop culture and stuff like that, but it doesn't really like go out of its way to name anybody. It just does classic pop culture. Like, they reference Gundam, they reference other animes, they reference Kamen Rider, they reference things that are like, classic pop culture, not modern pop culture of the standards of 2009. Uh, or was it 2004? I think it's an older anime that I think about it. But yeah, that's why I love Karoro Gunzo so much. So anyway, I'm gonna try using my computer again real quick. 1 second.
Okay.
Okay. While he's trying to fix his shit, John, what is your number?
Can you hear me now?
What?
Yes, we can.
No, we can't. Yeah, we can.
John.
Full.
So
Absolutely beautiful.
So for my number 7, I have Vampire Hunter D. It was a old Japanese movie in like a anime style, like the old 90s or 80s kind of style.
Mm-hmm.
It was this weird apocalypse, like kind of like Weird West kind of feel.
All right.
Where there's like
West,
vampires, monsters running around, and I think it's been a while since I've watched it, but the plot was pretty much based around like these group of people were looking for this woman.
All right.
And she was told to find D. And so it's like a little bit like some people are like, yeah, we're gonna get her, we're gonna keep her safe, we're gonna get a bunch of money, and D's just like, I'm here. Get on the horse.
Uh-oh.
We're here to protect you.
Get on the horse.
Like he's riding around on a horse, and I think he's got a sword on him.
Nice.
But I remember it ends with the woman in in this little tavern being like, why do they call him D? And the barkeep's like, hey, yeah, it's because he's stuck between worlds, and he is pretty much a Dhampir. That's why Vampire Hunter D. As he is a Dhampir.
That's pretty cool. I like that.
Yeah, like I really enjoyed the characters. I enjoyed the story. The animation was, for the time, very good. I still enjoy it to this day. There we go. Words are hard.
Mm-hmm.
And it felt nice to watch it.
All right.
That's it.
All right. Mine is another anime that you can watch on Netflix.
All right.
Oddly enough. And like John's number 10. Questionable.
Why? That's.
It's called Air Gear.
Oh, this one, yeah.
Oh,
I remember you telling me about Air Gear. Go ahead and tell the audience what Air Gear is about.
It is another sports anime. But this one is a sci-fi sports anime because it's essentially fighting on roller skates.
All right, and
it's questionable because the women are good looking and the main character's a big ass perv.
It's one of these.
But unlike some other anime where the character's a perv, he gets the girl. Dude's a player.
Dude, okay. In Heaven's Lost Property, the guy still gets the girl. after nearly sexually harassing her the entire 2 seasons.
Sexual harassment?
No, he gets all 3 girls. He gets a harem.
All
Okay.
3? What the fuck?
Yeah, he gets the first angel. It's like an android. Then I think the second angel,
Okay.
and the third is like
Alright.
his childhood best friend that has liked him for years, but never picks up on it, and she keeps kicking him.
We sure this ain't an H? We're positive this ain't an H?
It's not a
We're
hentai.
positive. We're positive both are not atypical.
It's an
Because mine
anime.
focuses more on. Well, it does focus on
Yours
that.
ain't. I know yours ain't. It can't. I know yours ain't. I know that for a fact. But shit.
I will send you the link to it. Give me a second.
No, wait, no. You don't have to do that. You don't have to prove anything. Fine.
Otakus such history.
Ah.
But yeah, it is very fun. It's my favorite character. Like even my favorite character. I think for back when it was because this is a way older anime as well. Just like
Yep.
but just like Choo Choo's was. In fact, I think it came out around the same time. In fact, my favorite character is an amazing for what it was at the time. I still think, even to this day, is amazing showcasing of what dissociative identity disorder is.
Oh. Okay. Pretty cool. All right, and is that all for you then, or is there anything else you want to add?
I will add something before I do.
And
I want a reboot. I want a reboot.
you were gonna say something like that. You want a reboot? Yeah, it probably deserves one.
I read all the manga. It's amazing. It gets better, and I think a lot of people, especially nowadays, if it's given to a good animation studio, a lot of people would fall in love with it. So,
All right.
yes.
You guys ready? All right, here we go. Number 6. Oh boy. So I remember remembering that letting you guys know that number 7 was pretty funny, right?
Mhm.
There was another funny anime that I watched growing up. I have more fond memories of this one though because it aired on the channel block known as Toonami. Pretty sure you guys can guess what it is then, right? It's a very funny one. It was the comedy block that they used. Had to do with a lot of hair. It's Bobobo Bobobo. Or Bobobo for short.
Steve, you're not welcome here.
So I don't know what that is. Please explain that to me.
Okay, here we go. Bobobo basically takes place in imaginary world. I'm trying to remember the name of the place. Sunfeed, by your reaction, I'm pretty sure you know a little bit of the anime. What's the name of the land again? They live in?
I blocked those memories.
Oh dear. Oh no. Well, okay. It looks like I'm on my own for this one. So let's just simply say it takes place in the really, really far future where hair is outlawed, and basically the baldy gang is trying their best to enforce this rule by taking everybody's hair by using claw techniques in order to get rid of it. I'm not done yet. Give me a second.
I might be having a stroke. Give me a second. Can you say so? It's what's the fucking name again?
The baldy gang. And Bobobo is the name of the show.
I'm having a stroke, I think.
Hi, what's wrong?
Do I smell? Hang on, I gotta think of something's burning in my room. I'm smelling toast.
Oh no, are you okay?
Hold on, I don't
Hey.
know. Hang on.
Well, we're gonna have to lose our editor. This is the
I'm
last
not having a
episode.
stroke.
Otaku.
Something was on fire. We are okay though.
Don, you're okay?
Yeah, my cupboard was on fire a little bit.
God,
Your what was on what?
Oh, don't say that on stream. Are you okay? Everything all right?
Yeah, no, everything's good. No, I had incense in it a little bit. It's like, yeah.
Oh, okay. As long as you're fine.
Like
Hey, I
nothing's
thought
hurt.
you-
It just burned into it and made a weird smell.
Okay, I thought you were reacting to my synopsis like crazy because I'm not done with the synopsis yet.
Well, yes, but also I was smelling something that was burning.
Oh dear God. Okay, so volleyball baldy gang. They're trying to take people's hair. One of these people, known as Beauty, gets attacked. However, gets also saved by the main protagonist, Bobobo, or just Bobobo for short. And basically, his goal is to fight the volleyball gang, and in order to bring back peace and prosperity of the joys of hair. And in order to do so, he uses his Fist of the Nose hair technique, which is a parody of Fist of the North Star. Which basically, it's literally his nose hair that comes out of his nose, and he just uses it like a freaking crack whip in order to fight people. And still gets crazier because there's other characters like Jelly Jiggler, which is literally just a living jello creature. Then there's Don Patch, which I don't even know what the heck he is, but I think he's some kind of bird, as far as I can tell. I'm not really certain. There's Gasser, who basically uses fart attacks in order to, hurt people and stuff like that. And then there's even more characters down the road that I don't even have enough time to explain at all, because every single character you're supposed to know about these five characters, because because Bobobo is a parody of shonen. It basically is taking place in the middle of the story, not the beginning. And that's where the shenanigans ensue. Of like, oh, you're supposed to know who this character is, or these characters know who this person is, but it's like, no, not everybody else does. And it's all done in the famous style of Monsai comedy. Like, One Piece, right? You know how One Piece has those very big, expressionate, crazy, bug-eye moments? Yeah, that's Bobobo, crack on crack on crack on crack on speed. And that's basically what all Bobobo.
Okay, so we're pretty much dealing with pretty much One Piece, but every name is like one syllable and not like three.
In a sense, yeah.
And
the reason...
it's not as serious. It's just comedy. It's just on everything and everyone all at the same time.
It is flat out Monsai absurd comedy at its finest, and that's why I loved it when growing up. I just pulled that thing up on Toonami when I needed a good laugh. Bobo just gave it to me, and I didn't give an F whatever the hell was going on screen. I just enjoyed it, and that's why it's number 6 on my list.
Okay.
And John, I pray for your sanity if you ever decide to step foot into the realm of Bobo. You will not be the same man afterwards. I assure you.
I watched an anime. It was a comedy one. I was in an anime club at some point in high school. I think one of the first animes the teacher showed us was, I don't remember the name of it, but all I can remember is like this girl's getting mugged. So this big buff guy walks in and goes, "Hey, stop that!" And they're like, "No." So the guy's like, "Okay." Flexes, his shirt flies off, hits one guy in the face, and then like he had like this training bra on. He flexes again, and that flies off and hits the other guy.
Hell?
And the next scene is these two guys, the two muggers, are running out from the alley, and the buff guy is flexing and then also thrusting and moving forward towards these guys. I'll have to find it. It's so fucking stupid.
I mean, that's one way of doing it. But Bobo just takes that to the next extreme. I assure you. The moment you try watching it, it will make no fucking sense, and that's the point of it all. It's meant to be fun.
I fucking stroke every time you say the name of
it. Hey, John, what's your number 6?
My number 6.
Yeah.
Let me know if you guys are sensing a pattern.
Okay, here we go.
Number 6. Where is it? It's either. Okay, so
I betcha it's another ecchi show, isn't it?
Yeah, a lot of my shit's fucking edgy. So funny
John,
enough,
I'm putting you in. So, John, you go to the corner right now.
Go to the corner. Funny enough, number 6 is the one. So funny enough, number 6 is the one I told you guys about, which is Dotoro, that was released in 2019.
Yep, the reboot one. Yep.
Yep. In essence, it is a story of this thief named Dotoro.
Yep.
And this boy that his father gave, pretty much. So Dotoro's friend, which is this guy's name, I think his name is Haikeen. It's something with an H. I'm gonna call him Haikeen because I can't pronounce his full fucking name. So Haikeen's father was a big emperor.
Mm-hmm.
And so Haikeen's father said, so he went to the demons, the Temple of Hell, and said, "Hey, listen. Fix my land, I'll give you whatever you want." The demons take the deal. Haikeen so his eyes were taken, as was all of his limbs, his skin, his vocal cords, his nervous system, and a bunch of other things.
Mm-hmm.
And then the emperor told the midwife, "Hey, go kill this kid. This kid cannot survive. And the
Mhm.
midwife goes, okay, puts the baby, like, goes to drown the kid and goes, actually, you have something to live for. Go on. And she pushes the kid out into the bog. And at that moment,
Mm.
demons start running around everywhere.
Yep. Yep.
And there's more demon hunters. Like a few years later,
Yep.
Hakeem actually kind of gets the adopted father of a carpenter.
Ah.
That pretty much the carpenter's job at the time was pretty much give limbs to dead bodies so they don't die without everything missing.
Mhm.
So he rebuilds his now adopted son's body. So he's got like a wooden face, wooden arms.
Oh.
Yeah. And
Huh.
just like so Hakeem also, since he can't see, he can see
Yeah.
a person's soul.
Ah.
Red ones are bad. So it's this big story about Dotaro and Hakeem tracking down demons because it turns out when some demons are killed, Hakeem gets different parts of his body back. And we see through the show how he has to react to that. Like
I have to do that. Huh?
like he gets his nervous system back, and he's so used to like getting like stabbed in the leg and not caring. He gets stabbed, and it hurts. Which for someone that's gone through so many years of not having to worry about that, then now feeling the pain, it's fascinating. I actually one of
Ooh.
my
Oh,
favorite.
so it's basically from what you have told me about, uh, from about how you are, John. So it's basically just you on steroids.
Oh, very much so.
Okay.
But no, like I really
Alright,
enjoy like all the characters are really good, and one of my favorite parts. It's something very wholesome, right? Dotaro and Hakeem meet this girl that she takes care of a bunch of orphans. And Hakeem gets his hearing back, and he hates every sound. Like he can't stand the sound of the wind, the rain, even Dotaro's voice. But this girl that is actually a prostitute to make money to take care of the orphans, her voice is the only thing he can listen to. And it's so sweet, and it's so nice,
And then she dies.
oh yeah,
Well,
she
that fudge
dies. She dies, and Hakeem fucking goes on a rampage, killing an entire army.
Damn.
And it's something big. Something big is humans can become demons, but they're filled with that much rage. And they've been traveling with this old demon hunter that's also blind, so he can see people's souls. And the old man who saw Hakeem as a little baby saw like hints of like sparks of a little bit of red of evil. And when Hakeem is killing all these soldiers that killed the one person that he really kind of started caring about, as well as a bunch of other kids, his soul starts becoming more and more red.
Damn.
But the story is just so good. And it gets even better the further you go in.
I love that. So, highly recommended then from you, and that's why
Yes.
it's number 6 on your list, right?
Yes, it is.
All right.
For
Alright,
mine,
Santi.
I have a question before I go into my number 6.
Mm?
Do you like you guys like guns?
Guns?
What's your
Yeah.
take on guns?
Hmm.
That's cool. Guns badass.
I am a
Okay,
revolver
yeah,
guy.
2 guns. Alright. And again,
Okay.
we're talking here.
Badass guns. All the guns.
We talking...
badass.
Talking Trigun?
We're talking handguns. We're talking sniper rifles. We are talking unfronted. Commonplace, from commonplace to the world's strongest. Basically, the main character and his class all get isekai.
Yep.
They
Now,
all get transported, including the teacher, to another world.
Yeah, you were talking about this one with me at work.
Yeah. And
What was...
every character, including him, gets a class. His class that he gets is synergist, which basically means that he is the ultimate crafter. He can create whatever his imagination wants. One
Okay.
of his classmates basically pushes him off a cliff
Of
and thinks
course.
that he's dead. Motherfucker is so determined to survive because he made a promise with one of his friends, who's also in the class, that he would survive no matter what. That he literally is using his power to the point where he escapes. He goes finds this badass vampire girl, and she just is a badass vampire lady who can cast bullshit magic, and he can just create bullshit weapons. Like his main weapons are 2 handguns, and it's so cool, so damn cool.
The fact that you've
He
told me to
creates
watch that
magic
and I've
bullets
looked it up
and
and I've
bang,
forgotten to
bang.
watch that sucks because I know exactly what you're talking about and I know what kinds of guns those are because I've spent the entire day.
Yeah, because I've recommended it to both of you because I know that, especially you, John, would love it.
And I do.
Right, big,
Like, I started
guns.
watching into it and I got distracted by something. Like, dude, I've been hyperfixating on his guns ever since. I'm building a D&D weapon. I already have the weapon made in my campaign.
Nice. Alright, so that's why the anime... What's the name of the anime again?
I refer it from commonplace to world's strongest because the dude literally goes from the weakest character in the anime to literally the strongest and says fuck everything.
Alright, this is your number 6, right? Perfect.
Yes, this is my number 6. And now we are to our number 5. Our top 5.
You're gonna
Yeah, this is when it gets much, much harder because I had to think about this really, really hard and long because it's like when I was originally making this, I realized a lot of the animes that I have on here are ones that were originally ones I grew up watching. So I was like, I can't keep doing it like this. Like, that's not really fair. If I did it by nostalgia, then the most nostalgic animes would be the one that wins. So I had to think about the ones that I really, really liked or the ones that made an impression on me rather than not just for the sake of nostalgia, but for the sake of story, animation, and character development. And that leads us to another one that I saw growing up on the originally would have been the 4Kids or the Kids WB block. It would have been, but then it transferred over to Cartoon Network for later on in the series. I'm, of course, talking about Yu-Gi-Oh! I think about Yu-Gi-Oh! Though, there's multiple different shows, because I can't just say Yu-Gi-Oh! As a whole, because there's different versions. There's GX, there's Zexal, there's Arc 5, and of course the one that I decided to leave for the number 5 mark is appropriately Yu-Gi-Oh! 5Ds. Now,
Card games on motorcycles.
I knew you were going to go there. I know. But besides the whole joke of card games on motorcycles, yes, I know, it's absurd, it's crazy, it's weird. Isn't that what Yu-Gi-Oh! Always has been? It's been weird, it's been crazy, it basically was JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, but if JoJo's Bizarre Adventure decided to be fucking tame for once. Because Yu-Gi-Oh! Can be very weird and crazy, especially with 5Ds, with the dark magic and the cults and the spirit world and all that really, really fun stuff. 5D decides to take that on the route of what the original was doing, but go even darker. Because let's face it, the original Yu-Gi-Oh! Series, even if you see the 4Kids dub, can be kind of creepy and weird and dark if you actually kind of start thinking about it too long. But GX then lightened up a little bit, except for Season 3, which then decided to get even fucking darker, and then Season 4 comes around, I'm like, what, is this even the same show anymore? But 5Ds has that tone all the way through, with hints of light in there. So for the synopsis of 5Ds, long story short, there are 2 places. There's the city, there's the satellite. Satellite basically is like the dumps. It's like a super duper bad place. And the only way people can get out of satellite is if they, fight their way through and build like these duel runners, or which are part of riding duels, or speed duels as they're called in the English dub of the anime. Yusei Fudo basically is fighting his way in order to get through to the top in order to meet his friend Jack Atlas, who a long time ago stole his old D-wheeler known as the Wheel of Fortune. And in order to, kind of kind of a post-revenge, a part revenge, part like friendship reunion thing. Because Yusei doesn't have a really super duper bad bone inch in his body, or inch of bad bone in his body. Like he tries his best to make as many friends as possible and tries to find the most peaceful solution. And that's kind of like Yusei Fudo's character in a nutshell. And I really like that. And it's like he's also not afraid to throw a couple of punches in the first season, or the second, actually, now that I think about it. He actually can kick fucking ass if he wanted to, but decides to play the card games on motorcycles.
Yes.
What was that?
What I find interesting about him is each character in Yu-Gi-Oh, their ace monster usually represents them.
Right.
Yusei Fudo is Stardust Dragon, which basically is the most pacifist bullshit card for the longest time.
Don't even get me started on synchro tuning and like speed to speed. What was it? What the hell was it? Let's go Axel Synchro. No, don't get me started on Axel Synchro. So many, man. It got really crazy in season 2. So yeah, that's why I have left Yu-Gi-Oh! 5Ds at a nice, safe number 5. All right, John, your turn.
First off, all I can imagine is just JoJo characters playing cards. And I'm sorry I have to do this.
That's gotta be somewhere on the internet,
fuck.
right?
Alright,
Wait, what'd you do?
spilled water. It's gonna be okay though.
Oh! Oh no!
Oh yes, I activate my trap car. You fucking give me a second. Oh.
I hope it was worth it. I hope the spilled water was worth it. I hope the gag was worth it. Man.
I love not doing laundry.
All right, so
this one's back on real quick.
once that spill's done, John, we can let you go ahead and go on to number 5 because we're gonna pick up speed real quick.
Yep. So my number 5 is Full Metal Alchemist and Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood.
Okay, well, I mean, they technically kinda are the same show, but yet none. I'll let that slide. But why number 5?
Why number 5? I like a few of the other ones. It was kind of the first ones I ever watched, and Full Metal Alchemist was also I read the entire manga of it as well. I just really enjoy like the magic system in that. The characters were really cool. It was funny, and it was also serious when it needed to be serious. Plus, Brotherhood's... I'm not a big opener guy. Like, I'll watch it once and then never again. But the opening music was just perfect.
Yeah. Melissa is definitely a good one. All done by Porno Graffiti.
Yeah. Plus,
Did you just say porno?
It's the name of the band, Porno Graffiti. That's literally the name of the band that does Melissa, the opening song track to the original Full Metal Alchemist series. Did you not know that? I'm serious. Go ahead, Sunfeed, look it up.
The more you know.
I believe you. I have no reason not to believe you. I just... Okay.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of the name either, but it's like, I don't know.
Plus, no one can argue with just Mustang being Mustang. It's just fucking perfect.
Bam, 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 yes.
That one scene gets me every time. And also, it's just like it's raining, but it's not. No, it's raining. He starts tearing. That got me. But it's like it's perfect. All right, what's your one, Sunfee?
Number 5. We're on 5.
What's number 5?
One fact about mine: the characters in the anime that have superpowers are all based off of famous authors, and their superpower is based off of what they're known for.
Their famous books.
My number 5 is Bungo Stray Dog.
The moment you said famous authors, I was like, okay, I know what he's talking about. I saw the first episode of Bungo Stray Dogs, and I was like, yeah, this is a fun time. This is a fun time.
I still need to
it
watch
is
it,
amazing.
and also the woman who wrote 50 Shades of Grey would be quite powerful in universe.
John, you are allowed.
I'll take my leave
You are
now.
going into the corner now. You go to the corner. You go to the corner.
At least
It's not my number five because
I have a corner.
my number five are actually quite hard to place for me. I was look because
yeah.
my number five, except for one of them, are always changing places. They're always changing places. It's just that right now it is number five. Tomorrow, for all I know, it could be number one. It's just that it places at number five today. It is because I love every character in Bugo Stray Dogs. Every single last character that is showcased is amazing. I love their stories. I love their motivations. I love every single thing about them. And each character has an amazing superpower.
Mm-hmm.
The main character can turn is literally a were tiger, and as the story progresses, he can turn his specific parts of his body into different parts of a tiger.
Sorry, right.
One of the main like reoccurring villains literally can has cloth manipulation. Cloth has darkness manipulation and just can grab you and beat you down with the cloak that he wears on him. His jacket, he can just beat you down, and it is terrifying and beautiful. There's literally a character that can't die for whatever reason because he's just that unlucky that he can't die.
Yeah,
That just negates your power. He says, "No, your power does not exist no more. I touch you, your power does not exist."
Ugh, great, one of those.
What
That
do you-
sounds like fun
What
to
are you
write.
based
Yeah.
off of H.P. Lovecraft? What about you, the guy that wrote The Pigeon That Bought a Bagel?
Damn it,
Speaking
John.
of H.P. Lovecraft, there's literally a character in one of the later seasons that is literally Cthulhu,
That is true.
and
Oh,
his name is
no.
Lovecraft.
Oh, great.
He is bullshit. He is bullshit. Like each character, every character is bullshit.
Dude,
That's how
Lovecraft
they balance it.
anything.
Every character in the anime is bullshit.
Hang on. Is there a Doyle in there, like Sir Arthur Doyle, the one that wrote Sherlock? Is he in the series?
Yes, he is.
Hey, that sounds like fun. All right. So, is that anything else you want to add for number 5 before we move on?
I will let you guys go to your. I could be here for days speaking.
He could.
Straight up. I highly
I just want to get this done in an hour. Let's do this. Let's try to get this done in an hour. Here we go.
Yep.
All right, so we're on to number 4. When I was making the list, I knew for a fact I was going to be adding a super long-ass running series onto this list because let's be honest here, we all watch shows that we probably would like to admit or not.
I swear, if it's the same one that I think it is, I will hit at work. I will hit you. I will actually hit you if it's the one I think it is.
I'm pretty sure it's not the same because we're not that alike.
It's
I don't
the
think,
second
but-
version of it. Wah!
I mean, okay, so
What is it?
for mine, it had to do with another 4 Kids block anime, which I'm pretty sure you're familiar with.
Okay, you're making me really worry that it is, and I'm about to hit you because there's no
there's
reason
no
it should be number 4.
no actual shot in hell that we both chose the exact anime on this list. I have this for number 4. There's no way you and I thought the same thing.
I don't have it for number 4 if it's the one I think of. If it's the one I think of, I'm gonna hit you. It is higher. You are crazy.
In case the tagline doesn't get you, I'm pretty sure it will catch you eventually. So let's catch them all. It's Pokemon, the anime series.
Okay, you got that excuse. You get the side-by.
Was
I
yours?
thought it was
was-
Yay!
something
Thank
else.
the fucking God, because I said we were gonna have a problem here. So
I thought we were about to have a problem here. Because there's another 4 Kids anime that's long running, and I thought you were talking
Nah.
about that one. And I'm
No
about to lose
shot
my
we would have
actual mind.
Nah. So, Pokemon. Do I even need to give a synopsis? Everyone knows what Pokemon is. Hell, even everyone's grandma knows what Pokemon is. But for those who don't know, the anime series runs around Ash Ketchum, at least, for now. not for much longer, for over 20 freaking years. Yeah. Ash Ketchum basically is striving to be the #1 Pokemon master, and he does that by getting his starter Pokemon Pikachu, which originally you could not originally get as a starter until later games with Pokemon Yellow and so on and so forth. But that's besides the point. Ash then goes on this amazing quest in order to try to catch all the Pokemon that he can and become a Pokemon champion, which would lead him to become a Pokemon master. And he does that by going to different gyms and different regions, running into different peoples and folks like Misty, Brock, May, Dawn, Max, and like all these other different Pokemon characters throughout the series. And I could not choose one singular series, so I just decided to go with the entire series as a whole. Yes, John, I see that hand touching the stratosphere. What's up?
Would you say that he's there to be the very best?
No one ever was.
Yeah.
Indeed.
Dog go to the corner.
Okay,
Just gonna go
okay.
back to the
remember
corner.
show. So,
Take care, guys.
to be honest, though, this is going to be the first anime on the list, though, where I say the characters are, not really the best. Because, let's be honest here, Ash's character development is as progressive as it is cheese changing flavor.
I mean, if you're going as like a full series, a TikToker actually found out that he's becomes a very excellent Pokemon trainer throughout his journey. He becomes very.
Yeah, especially by Gen 3 and 4, in the Sinnoh arc, he was really, really
Then he
good.
takes an accidental nosedive in Gen 5, but then he really makes up for it in Gen 6.
Haters just wanted to neuter Ash in Gen 5, and I don't know why. I really don't understand. But, yeah, the reason why I also chose the whole series, like I mentioned before, is, well, I can't choose one, because it's I could go with the original, because I did grow up watching that. I could go with Sinnoh, because, that's the one that's really close to my heart. Not Gen 5, though. Gen 5 is, ugh. But then there was also the ones that I even didn't get a chance to watch yet all the way through. I saw all of Alola's version, Pokemon Journeys. I need to get to Journeys though next. Shit. So yeah. I just love the Pokemon anime series as a whole. Animation, music, the characters are they're good, but it's they're not gonna be as amazing as compared to the other characters that I have left on the list here. Jean, you're up. What's number 4?
If I may request something.
Yeah?
Sunfig, can you give a second? I'm testing out something, see if we are running the same kind of trend for number 4.
Oh no.
I promise it'll be worth it.
Okay.
What is yours, Sunfig?
Mine is High Card.
Never mind.
All right, John. Perfect.
No, you keep going. You keep going, Sunfig.
I have, since I had to say mine, I might as well go anyways.
All right, go ahead.
Mine is I have the highest hopes for High Card. It seems extremely promising. Yeah? Okay. I have the highest hopes for it. That's why it's at number 4. It can easily drop down. But from its animation to how its characters are handled to its power system of the higher the card, the higher the risks towards the power. The lower the card, the weaker the power, but there's practically no risks to it. I feel is very well balanced because it makes each character balanced in some way. So everything about it feels very card game-esque. Everything, it's beautiful. It's very thematic. I love it, and it even shows on later episodes how normal human beings, like you and me and John, would react to living in this world. It doesn't just go from the superpowered aspect. It goes from the normal civilians side of what's going on here.
Yeah.
Not dying.
What's missing now are motorcycles, right?
That's true. And both of you think all three of us are normal civilians. 2 out of the 3 of us would already somehow have a card. And you know this, Sunfi.
Yes, but you know what I mean.
That's true.
Right. Okay, so, anything else you want to add to High Card?
I hope that it continues being an amazing anime. It's where it is right now in the anime. I'm hyped for. I hope it continues holding my interest.
Okay.
Alright. John, you're number 4.
So,
I'm
for my
very
number
curious
4, I was testing this out. My number 4 is Netflix Castlevania.
Ooh, we got a bit of a...
Again, that's another anime that I started watching, but I didn't get it further enough in to actually have a horse in the race.
Alright, but I'm curious, though. John, why is this number 4? And also, do you still consider the Netflix series Castlevania series a actual anime, or is it like a faux anime, kind of like what Avatar is?
Oh, it's an actual anime.
I would call it an
was
actual
created
anime.
by
They got the right kind of people behind it.
Okay, alright, I'll take your word for it.
I really enjoyed it because, first off, I love Castlevania. It's every single game is just so cool, and just like the story, the animation, the characters, I think were just about completely spot on. Trevor Belmont was just the perfect mix of punchable yet endearing.
Yes, he is.
And like there was no like, oh yeah, we should probably pull this back or anything else like that. It was like, oh yeah, murder in every way. And even Dracula, they made him such an awesome character. And all okay, so it's hard to write really good villains. Dracula is an amazing villain, as well as some of the other vampires. Like they have a good reason of why they're being
Carmilla
evil.
is crazy as shit.
Yes.
I love her.
Was like just like
There's,
one of my favorite ones when they first introduced Trevor, and he's like he's in the bar, and he's just like, okay,
Later,
there's shit going on.
my
One final drink, and he gets his ass kicked. Was he just drunk off his ass? There was no punches pulled. It was full on like, yeah, they're gonna kick his ass,
mm-hmm.
and it was just you could feel everything, and the animation was so perfect. And although it's gonna sound bad for me to say, the gore being completely maxed out was perfect.
I mean, it's Castlevania. It's vampires and, medieval times. It makes a lot of sense that it would be a very dark and cruel and very messed up time in history, and it fits perfectly with the aesthetics of this show. And I love that setting, and yeah, it's great.
It's amazing.
So it sounds like Sunfi is away from keyboard. Sunfi, you still there?
Yes, I'm still here. My family's kind of crazy.
Yeah.
I see. Okay.
Anyway.
So is that all you want to add for Castlevania for your number 4 spot?
Yeah, that's pretty much it. Castlevania's absolutely amazing. It's kept getting better the further seasons you go on.
All right, that means we're on to the big top 3 then, and this is where it got the most difficult. I had to think about 3 animes in my head that basically mean like the whole thing of like no nostalgia attached, but just super duper awesome. And maybe a little bit of rule breaking here and there for these. For number 3, though, I had no nostalgic attachment to this. I had very little information about the show going into it, and I only heard about it because of the awards going on and the community of the anime industry kind of going like, this is really, 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 really good. And I was like, I have to give this a watch. And then it's like, I decided to sit down and watch it with my brother in order to give it a shot. And I fell in love with just the first season, and I still need to see the rest of them. The only cruel thing about this is that it is a Netflix exclusive series. I'm talking about Violet Evergarden.
I've not watched that, but it's now on my list.
Alright, so for the synopsis of Violet Evergarden, it's been out for a while, but the long story short, it all deals around this war veteran woman by the name of Violet Evergarden. At least I don't know for a fact if that's her real name. She was like an orphan in the show, and they kind of touch more on that later on. But basically, the whole show starts out with her literally waking up in a hospital bed, and both of her arms are gone, and they're replaced with these prosthetic mechanical arms, kind of like what Edward Elric had in Full Metal Alchemist. The only difference, though, is that these things are frail and fragile. They were not designed to punch things. They were designed to just simply move and do, basic functions. And now she basically has to live a life as a veteran in this, like, kind of like, I don't know, early 1900s era, or like, I think it was like late 1800s era, kind of like World War One kind of kind of era, kind of, setting. And it's like, it's gorgeous, it's pretty, it's beautiful. It's like literally watching a painting in motion. That's the best way to describe Violet Evergarden, is how just it is. And the story itself is pretty plain point, because I mentioned before, synopsis of Violet Evergarden just simply waking up, having her prosthetics, and having to look for a job. She eventually becomes a, I think it was like, they called it a, what was the, letter girl. A letter girl. The way that a letter girl kind of works is that they basically use their hands and, their knowledge of literature to write letters for people, for those who are either analytic, where they, not analytic, illiterate, where they can't read or write, or they don't really know how to do things, but they know how to talk. So they hire somebody else to write a letter for them. And this usually can range from a business letter to a family loved one, or something even deeper, like, trying to get in contact with somebody. And Violet basically works with these different walks of life throughout the show of how to express these emotions or express this information throughout the series, as she tries to regain her humanity after, fighting in this god-awful war and losing her arms. And it's the most beautiful, drop-dead gorgeous show I've ever seen. The show with its comedy, it's there, but it's very light, and it's like doesn't take and distract anything. Matter of fact, it's a very serious show, but it doesn't drag you down and make you dreadful. It saves those moments for very key timing in the show, and it's just. I would totally recommend this to anybody who just wants to sit down and just admire an anime. Not get invested, not get hyped up about it, but just sit down and just enjoy it. And just, a little bit of escapism, but not escapism as in like a power drive, but like, this is another place, this is another time, these are different people. I want to know these people. I want to hear their story. That's the kind of show that Violet Evergarden is. So that's my number. John, we're back to you, because we're gonna backdrop. We're gonna go back into the circle motion. So give me that number 3, John.
So for my number 3, this one it's been like a 3-way tie that throughout the night I've been like changing it up, because I'm trying to decide which one I like better. It's literally, so it's tied between One Piece, Naruto, and Bleach.
Are you shitting me?
I'm not shitting you. That is for my number 3. Either any of those 3.
So those are your 1, 2, 3?
No. Those are like my 3. I've been trying to figure out which one to put for 3.
You can't decide which one?
No, I can't.
Damn.
Like, all of them I like for so many different reasons. I love Naruto, which is kind of I love ninjas. It's just cool as hell. And the characters are pretty good. The only complaint is I have for the English dub, which I usually watch a lot of stuff in English. I love the voice actress for Naruto. I love her as an actress. But I can't stand her voice for more than like 20 minutes sometimes.
As it's supposed to be, you're supposed to watch one episode a week, so it's like you're not supposed to binge watch and hear that, screechy Naruto voice 24/7. Like, you're not supposed to hear that.
And then for Bleach, Bleach is awesome. The fight scenes are so good.
Yes. I haven't even finished it yet. I've only gotten past the Reaper arc. They just got back from the world, and they're about to deal with many other crazy crap. I'm sorry that I cannot share the enjoyment with you, John.
You're good.
I really wish I could.
Well, like Bleach, like one of the things being Bleach, the music that kicks off every time there's like a really big fight still gives me goosebumps, no matter what, and I love it.
Fun fact about Bleach. If I didn't remember Misfits of Demon Academy, it would have been my number 9.
Really? And then for One Piece, I'm binge watching One Piece right now. And
yeah, that could have been number 4 on my list, but I was like, I can't. It's not right. But I can't put it on the list because it's like, there's other shows that I like too.
Yeah. Yeah, so
You didn't put One Piece on your list?
If I had put it on the list, it definitely would have been high. It would have been either 2 or 1. But there was something else that I watched, that I thought was worthy of that spot. And Bleach, and don't get me wrong,
It better be worthy. Oh my lord!
it will be.
yeah.
And it's like it's also
I can agree with John. It is definitely top 3 anime.
Mm-hmm.
I can understand why it's tying with Naruto and Bleach. It's the big 3.
Mm-hmm. And like
For shame, Choo-Choo.
One Piece is just like
I know.
I love all the characters of One Piece. I don't remember how far I'm in right now, but like every episode, although like with the OG3 sometimes kind of gone me. It's like, oh yeah, we gotta get through this thing. It's gonna take about 5 episodes to get through that one thing, which is I'm patient, but sometimes not so patient. One Piece makes it worth every step. It's funny when it needs to be really funny, serious when it needs to be really serious.
Yeah, I can agree to that, but I mean that's also the reason why that One Piece is not on my list either, because it's like, do I dare put this on my list? Because it's like it's nostalgic, but it's also like it's still going, and it's still going. Do I even put it on the once it's done, once it's finished, it will go on the list when I see the ending for the show, because it's like I know that there's these other shows here too, like Pokemon is technically coming to an end. It's more of an arc era coming to an end, so it's like now I can put Pokemon on the list because it's coming to an end. But all of these shows, like I either have watched and finished them, or they're shows that have been completed, but I still haven't gotten around to completing them, which means they actually have a finite moment. One Piece is so far not finite; it's still going, so I can't put it on the list because it's like,
Yeah, but it's ending. It's literally also ending.
in another 2 years. So like in 2 years' time, most likely One Piece will be number
1
one on
year.
the list.
This is the second year.
Well, this is the second year. You're right. So yeah, in about a year, One Piece most likely will be number 1 on the list, but it'll have to compete with my number 1 on here. So John, do you have anything else to say for that 3-way tie for number 3?
If you ever need inspiration, any of the OG3, and you want if you want some ninja inspiration, watch a little bit of Naruto. If you want pirate inspiration, One Piece, any episode of One Piece.
I can agree with
Bleach, you want fucking stereotypical kind of like samurai kind of thing, or even just awesome sword fights. Bleach. All 3 of them are long as hell, but worth it, even to watch a good amount of it.
And Bleach
Bleach even came back, though.
It came back bouncing.
true.
Don't call it a comeback. Pretty much what it's gonna be.
And one small thing before we move on. I'm sorry I'm taking so long. I'm very far into One Piece right now, and then I heard that there is someone put together like what episodes to watch to get through One Piece and get over like all like the filler stuff. I think you know what I'm getting at. So I see that and go, do I watch the filler episode? Do I just keep going how I am, or do I skip around so I can get the big story beats? I'm like, I can't do that. My gut will not let me. I tried it once, puked, and went, nope, going back to watching it episode by episode.
I love it.
That's all.
Okay,
Something you're up.
You're up, Sunfi. What's number 3 for you?
So, I have a question for you guys.
Okay.
Do you know what the properties of bungee gum are? It has the properties of both rubber and gum. Yes, I am talking about Hunter X Hunter or Hunter Hunter.
Right, however you want to describe it.
However you want to say it. Honestly, if it wasn't for someone that I care deeply about, one of my other best friends,
right,
I never would have given this anime a second chance. There was no way in hell. But it is one of her favorite anime.
Oh.
And I did it because I was like, I'll be nice. At the time, we had just broken up. We were dating, but we were still on straight. So I watched it, and I fell in love with it. I watched all of it. And the last arc that is animated because I want more. Because I know there's more. It's
Yeah,
continually going right now.
I know. I know. It's great.
The
Wonderful.
fact that I know who you're talking
It's my
about.
favorite because it brought my favorite character. It brought Mirror. I love that green fuck with all of my heart because he's just a good boy. Yes, he's a villain, but he's a good boy. He do no wrong. He wants a great mass genocide. That's okay. He can go do the mass genocide. He do no wrong. He do nothing wrong. He's just a goodness boy.
Sunfee. The funny fact is, I know Hunter x Hunter. I've watched it as well. I'm still trying to get. I'm gonna watch entirely the way through it. But I remember that show because of the friend that you were talking about. I remember it as the show that Sunfee's friend sims over a 10-year-old. She, am I wrong? It's the show she
Do
sims
not
over a
send
10-year-old.
Do not send this episode to her. She will kill you in your sleep. She will.
Oh, please.
I will
Dude,
lose my
the
best
worst
friend
part
and
is,
my other best
me and
friend.
Choo Choo have to play with her on Fridays.
Oh no.
You will die. I will lose my best friend to my other best friend.
So, fun little
Dude.
fact. So, when we
No.
first started getting this together, it was going to be me, Sunfee, and this friend, and not Choo Choo. She couldn't
Not
come.
me. Yes, I'm good.
So, I will let you all know this right. I would crack the same joke if she was here.
You would choose death.
I would.
The chosen death. All right.
The show that she sims over a 10-year-old.
All right. So,
Yes.
anything else you want to add to your? Anything else you want to add to your number 3, Sunfee?
There was more before we went on that tangent.
Oh, she's gonna.
I love
I'm gonna have to
power-
clip that too.
It's very. I
Go.
love the power system.
Hmm?
It's
It's a cool
very
system.
well done. It is very creative, and how the person themselves basically gets the ability to craft their own superpower instead of just be like, "Hey, here you go, Goku. You can fly. You can shoot energy blast. You can go Super Saiyan. Here you go. Bye. Okay, Luffy, you eat a weird fruit. You can stretch your body. Here you go. Bye. Naruto, ninja shit. Bye. No,
I like to imagine somebody just throwing stuff at all these characters. Naruto, here, kunai.
Ninja shit. Hey. That's about right.
Okay.
All right. So
So-
is that it?
Number 2.
Oh, I also love their music, by
Oh,
the
yeah,
way.
of course.
Oh yeah,
Music's
that music's
awesome.
good. Yeah. All right, number 2. I was going to say originally that like nostalgia for these top 3 was not going to be a contributing factor. Oddly enough, though, it was because while writing this list that I remembered this show. Started when it was the middle of the night, and my oldest brother, was actually watching stuff on Adult Swim. And I decided to kind of like sneak in and kind of see what he was watching. Now, these shows at the time were like, Inuyasha and Bobobo, and then the one that made it to number 2 on the list. All I saw was this guy that was talking on an electronic device that saw one of their friends tied up, and they asked where they were, and they kind of said that it was this church. The guy then gets on his trench coat, and the music starts to play. That awesome, awesome piano note of going dun, 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 followed by a nice light drizzle of rain. Then the trench coat with really crazy hair, then goes up to this old rickety chapel that looks like it needed a renovation badly. Steps inside, and there's a man in the shadows with silver hair, a sword, and a large bird on his shoulder.
So how?
I had this conversation, and at the time, I didn't fully understand it. I did know for a fact that these two were not going to get along. It's when a fight started breaking out, guns going off, blazing around, grenades being thrown, and then the fight then goes over to a sudden halt, with a man holding a sword to the other man on the ground with a gun pointed at him. The stained glass window right behind them. The show I'm talking about, Cowboy Bebop. The episode I saw was Ballad of the Angels that night. I didn't know it at the time, but I knew for a freaking fact that this is an incredible piece of art. Almost as good as Violet Evergarden, if not slightly better, for a different reason. I left Violet Evergarden at number 3 because it was one that I had no emotional attachment to it, which probably is why it's at number 3, but it's still super damn good. Cowboy Bebop only gets that advantage of nostalgia, along with a different theme that I actually kind of like, and that's sci-fi. And I love the idea of traveling through the stars and, meeting different people on different planets and maybe sometimes even aliens, depending on what you're watching. But in Cowboy Bebop, they had no aliens. It was just regular people traveling the stars, just trying to live life like they can. And for Spike, it's just basically being a bounty hunter, or a cowboy in this case, and just catching people for a bounty and trying to get by. And that's all the show really is, unless you watch them in a specific order, such as Ballad of the Angels, which is where the actual plot kind of comes into play. And I'm not going to spoil it for anybody up to episode 4. All I'm going to simply say is that, my god, is this show incredible. The animation is aged like fine wine in a beautiful French cellar. And it's just, every time you look at it, you could tell the amount of heart and soul that went to every single motion that the characters did. The voice acting, both the original Japanese and the English dub, are incredible, which is very rare for an anime. Especially with, shit, I can't remember the guy who voices Spike Spiegel. It was like,
I don't remember his name, but I did take a voice acting class with him. Well, he was teaching. It was a master class. He also voices Dempsey in...
damn it, fuck it, I gotta... Sorry, that's the F-bomb there.
Fuck. Oh, shit.
Ooh.
But
I'm not helping.
Spike Spiegel. Spike Spiegel was the name I was talking about, too. Steve Blum is the man who voiced and that was, because when you hear his voice come out of that character, it just absolutely fits. It's the right kind of, I don't give a shit, but also I actually care about you guys, alright? And I think that's the other thing, too. It's like, obviously the characters are all unique in their own way. They all got their dark past, and yet there's still a little bit of good somewhere in there, but they all made fucking mistakes, and now they gotta live with it. And it's the way that they show it through the animation and the music, and oh yeah, did I just forget to mention the awesome badass music that plays in Battle of the fucking Angels for the cathedral? The best damn scene in the whole show, and it's at episode 4. Episode 4! You only gotta go 4 episodes in to see the best moment of the entire show.
What?
That's why it's number 2.
That's controversial.
Yeah.
Well, that's controversial.
Oh, Cowboy Bebop at number 2? That's what's controversial?
No. Episode 4 of Cowboy Bebop is the best moment. Without going into major spoilers, wow, okay.
Well, I think it's mostly because it's like it's the tonal shift change. Because like in first episodes 1 through 3, everything's like your classic action adventure sci-fi genre, just with a little more experimental music and animation style, and not animation styles, but more like just the designs and like the characters' interactions. But Battle of the Angels feels heavier. Like much heavier. Like there's something really serious going on here, and the audience is kind of left at this point of the series to kind of like fill in the blanks, especially with the flashback moments of like, so maybe it led to this here and here, and it's just enough breadcrumb information to develop a story for the audience to pick up. It does not force it down your throat. It doesn't make you have to play Guess Who in order to figure out what the hell is going on. It's just the right amount of information to say this is point A, point B, point C. That's all you're gonna get. And for the rest of the show, it does eventually kind of fill in those blanks, although the payoff is kind of like, not gonna say bad, but it's like, it doesn't kill the show either. It definitely doesn't do that at all. It's just very nice. It's very, very nice. Not nice in a, happy-go-lucky way, but in a way of like, this is a satisfying ending. That's all I'm gonna say for Cowboy Bebop.
If I may add something, because I
because I saw your heart, by the way. I saw that.
So, Cowboy Bebop was amazing to me. That one, it really hit me hard because first off, the characters were just awesome. I love Spike. I love everyone. And when I first started watching Cowboy Bebop, I went from watching Firefly, and then later Serenity, to Cowboy Bebop. Serenity was well, the Firefly was this kind of imagine Cowboy
Like a
Bebop.
live action Cowboy Bebop,
Yeah,
but
pretty
just
much.
not anime.
No, no. Do not watch live action Cowboy Bebop. No, Firefly.
Don't do that. No.
No. Firefly was kind of like the same feel as Cowboy Bebop, except for it was live action. It had like a different story. It was just like it was a bunch of people that are on this Firefly class ship called the Serenity. It had kind of this cool story where like kind of like some wars are going on. It was very much kind of like the Civil War where there's like the brown coats and then this other group of people,
Coats, yeah.
and they're just trying to survive. And the actors in Firefly were absolutely amazing. And I hate the fact that the show did not get a second season.
No, it
And
did
instead of
not.
just
No,
being
I
like, "Oh
remember
yeah,
hearing
let's
about
drive this to the ground," they made a movie called
Ugh.
Serenity, which really brought it together. And if you like Spike as a character, Spike is quite literally Captain Mal and then Pilot Wash from Firefly.
Nice. All right, I'll have to watch that sometime. That actually sounds like a lot of fun.
It is so good.
All right, that just leaves us to its Sun Fee for his number 2 spot. What do you got, my friend? What's your runner up?
Hold the fuck on. Hold the fuck on.
Fuck on.
Oh, right.
So
you haven't
my
said
my
yours, John.
three was 3. I could not decide to put in 3. My number 2 was...
Right, I'm sorry. Go ahead, John. I'm so sorry.
I don't know where you live, but I will find you.
Okay.
No, I do. I'll help you out.
Don't dox me here. No.
I don't need to dox you. I'll
John,
just show up at your
please,
house.
just go.
So,
I'm sorry, John. Please. I want to hear your number 2. Go ahead.
my number 2 is Sirius as Jagger. I think it was also created by Netflix. It was this... These last 2? No, just, yeah, kind of. So, it was a story about this organization in the world that they hunt vampires. And the main character is this kid from, I think he's from Iceland or something. Or Greenland. Somewhere that's really cold. And there's kind of like this tribe of people. And these tribe of people are werewolves. And so he was kind of pulled away. Like he had like an older brother that got taken by these vampires. So he joins up with this secret organization to hunt these creatures.
Mhm.
Where the normal human people have just like Tommy guns, everything else like that. He walks around with a bow staff that, if he clicks it right, at the end, like a little bit like a knife comes out.
Ooh, that sounds like fun.
Yeah, so he's up in front fighting these vampires with his weapons, beating the shit out of all of them. The action's so cool. The characters are awesome, and it just like the music's also so good. I really enjoyed it. It's snarky, it's serious, and then also not serious when it needs to be. I really enjoyed it. I'm a sucker for hunting mythical creatures.
Like that like Victorian era kind of thing of like vampires and werewolves and stuff like that. Yeah, I can get behind that. I got my sci-fi fit. You got your like cryptid and like mythical creatures kind of thing going on.
So about
All right, Sunfee, how about you? Well, never mind. Sorry, go ahead, John. You got one last thing to say?
No. Sunfee, what's yours? Oh my god.
I think
What's
you
wrong?
can try to figure out what mine is.
Bleach.
Because
it's Bleach.
you're-
It's Bleach.
It's Luffy. This is Luffy.
It's Bleach.
Oh, what? I can't see. Hang on a minute. I can't see what's on your screen.
It's Bleach.
It's the greatest main character of all time.
It's Boku no Pico.
Oh.
My
Mother
mistake.
I
I will hit you in your mouth.
Macbeth.
We can't. Find wood.
No, my number 2 is One Piece.
Surprises me. I honestly thought you would put that as number 1. Okay. Why is
No, there is something. It's number 2 because I love the journey. I love the power system. I love I love how well thought out each character is, how the story is, how the world building is. Oda, there is a reason why in the States we call him Goda. He's a, there's a reason that last year, I think, either last year or this year, One Piece won #1 here in the States for the
Mm-hmm.
most viewed show. It is the
And we know
greatest
why.
thing ever. And it's still continuing.
With one more year to go, we're almost there.
And that is, and I could be here for days talking about One Piece.
Oh, but we ain't got days now, do we?
Exactly.
I mean,
We
we
don't got
could
this,
if we
so
got enough people to view our
I ain't got
stream
the
and pay
caffeine
us.
for it. I ain't got the caffeine for it either, though. So we're out of that too.
I can make more coffee.
So, anyways,
Yes.
Choo Choo Gino, what is your #1?
All right, so my colleagues here will most likely know what my #1 probably is, given that I've been messing with this on stream and stuff like that. So I had to figure out #1 really, really hard. I had to think really long and hard about this, mostly because the genre that my #1 is in is a mecha show. I am a mecha dude, mostly because of Transformers and many other shows alike that have giant robots or giant machines. I love mechanical stuff. I love mechanical designs, and I then heard about the franchise of Mobile Suit Gundam. I then had to think to myself, which of these shows did I want to watch when I wanted to jump into the massive ocean that is the Gundam franchise? I then talked to a friend of mine who then simply offered either watching Gundam Unicorn or Gundam Build Fighters, or a third option that they mentioned, which was the latest show at the time, and which I only heard about it because like it aired about like 5 or 7 episodes, and it was like very recent at the time when I first heard about it. So I then decided to go for Build Fighters first, in order to dip my toe into the pool, so to speak. And I was like, I like the designs, I love the the toys and stuff like that, but it's like I want to see a real Gundam show. That's what led me to my #1 option, and the one that took me from tipping my toe into the pool, and to dragging my whole body down into the abyss that is the ocean of Gunpla and Gundam as a whole. The show I'm talking about for my #1 pick is Mobile Suit Gundam Iron Blooded Orphans. Uh, so you're probably wondering, why is a Gundam show at #1 and not fucking Cowboy Bebop? Again, sorry about the F bomb, John, but I had to say it here and now. So,
You think I'm gonna edit that out? No.
most likely not, no.
I'm lazy.
So why did I choose a Gundam series as #1? Probably because this show did something that Cowboy Bebop could not be able to do. Cowboy Bebop was a standalone show. It was its own thing. It was its own little pocket universe. It was its experiment. But Gundam is a franchise. There's hundreds of different shows and movies and mangas and novels and heck, even video games in this entire franchise as a whole. Gundam is a way of life. And I would not have known that if not for the entry point that I took, which was Iron Blooded Orphans, which was the latest one at the time, which came out in 2015. I watched it about 6 months after its debut, roughly around close to 2016, because it came out in like October of 2015, and I didn't see it until like February or March. Matter of fact, it's been a pretty long time since I saw the very first few episodes of it. But let me get to the synopsis here before I go off the rails even further. All Gundam shows usually take place in the far future, where mankind has finally colonized in space. In Universal Century, it would be known as the colonies. In Double O, it would be known as the orbital elevators. But in Iron Blooded Orphans, mankind has colonized Mars, and they have terraformed it where people can actually walk and breathe and actually not need any spacesuits at all on Mars. Or if I can actually show that a lot in Iron Blooded Orphans. But the other thing too is that it's about 325 in the post-disaster timeline. That's another thing with the Gundam shows, is that they don't use a regular calendar. So in that case, it'd be like the 2300s is basically what it'd be in Anno Domini. The story takes place with these two main male protagonists known as Orga and Mikazuki Agas. They are good friends for the longest time, and they basically are part of the Chris Guard security system, which eventually would become Takaden. And their ultimate goal is to escape what's known as the space rat life, which basically is like they have these things called whiskers, which they attach into a port on their machines that act as a nerve extension, which allows them to move the machines almost like they're an extension of their body. That's what they were originally designed to do. And that's what led to their home base getting attacked by the big space organization known as Galahorn, the space militia, basically is what they are. And their job is to protect Kudelia Ina Barnstein, who is a politician that is trying to basically kind of like make space rats or illegal, in a sense, basically it's illegal employment is basically what it is. That they basically take these people and they don't pay them that much, if not at all. And in order to get rid of this kind of livelihood, it's like that legislation has to be passed in order to get that done. And Cordelia can't do that from Mars. She has to go all the way to Earth, just because communication in deep space is kind of hard to do in the year 2300, especially where it's like a timeline where it's like everything is like broken as shit. Like Iron-Blooded Orphans is not advanced at all. Matter of fact, there's barely any beam weapons or any like cool sci-fi weapons. It's all giant melee weapons. So John, I know you like big guns. What are your thoughts on big ass swords and clubs and maces and lances? How's that sound?
Seeing the fact that it's tied to a mecha series.
Yeah, I'm talking about a mecha that uses a giant freaking lance. It's rocket propelled. Makes them fly through space.
Seeing the fact that a lot of Gundam stuff is a lot of like, oh yeah, I'm gonna sit here with my giant pulse sniper rifle and shoot something out. I am a guy that likes an ounce of realism, as I've said before. Looking at the big ass weapons and what I've heard from people that have like tried to wield giant weapons like Cloud Sword from Final Fantasy.
Yeah.
Giant mechas that have been built to wield these kinds of weapons, sounds absolutely amazing and so cool.
Alright, and that's especially with the last part I need to mention before, and this is at the end of the first episode of Iron-Blooded Orphans. But basically, they have this machine known as the Gundam, which is the namesake of the series, and I'll end this real quick. Mikazuki is the one that needs to pilot it, though, but in order to do so, they had to come up with this crazy plan in order to get him to the base and reactivate it, because it was defunct. It was like, but it had all of its parts attached, so all they had to simply do was detach it from the main base so it could operate as its own machine again. So right then we have Orga riding around with one of his other friends, and they like divert one of the other machines called the Graves, which is the mono-eye kind of evil green machine that basically was about to slam a giant axe right onto Orga, and then out from the fucking ground comes Mikazuki's mobile suit, the Gundam Barbatos, with a big-ass mace, stomps on front, and then just slams the mace right into the machine, killing the pilot in an instant from the impact. And it's just gorgeous. The sound design, the music, the lighting, and how the sun rises. It's one of the most amazing scenes I've ever saw in anime. And that's why I have Iron-Blooded Orphans at number 1. For that first episode scene, the characters, the mechanical designs, the plot itself, and it's just... I love Iron-Blooded Orphans, especially because it got me into the franchise as a whole. I mean, Violet Evergarden, it's great. It has some sequels, but it's not a giant franchise. Cowboy Bebop, it's a spin-off. It's a one-off thing. Bobobo, hell, no one talks about Bobobo. I don't even think if you even know what Bobobo was before I Bobobo'd you. So, yeah, that's why I have Iron-Blooded Orphans as number 1. Leaves, you, John. What's number 1 for you?
Hang on, I'm recovering from the stroke. Give me a second.
What? It's because I knew this was a gag. It's because I said the name, isn't it? Because of the yellow afro and the big burly blue shirt dude. Is that it? I can't even say his name anymore. I just have to describe what he looks like.
I can't pronounce it, nor can my brain pronounce it, which means it's a bad thing.
It's just Bo. Oh.
Bo.
Or you just go... Or just Bo. You could just stick with three bows. It's just 3 bows. You just gotta say 3. You don't have to say his full name. It's not necessary. You just gotta say the first 3 syllables. Bo, bo, bo. That's it. Don't worry about it. Ora, ya ves.
So, my number 1 is another Netflix one that was created. And this one is my number 1. Not because it's a big anime. My number 1 is The Witcher: Nightmare of the Wolf. I am a big Witcher fan. I have read the books. I have played all the games. The Netflix series went down the shitter. The only reason why The Nightmare of the Wolf is at my number 1 is, although they don't have the lore perfectly normal, I'm not going to be too big of a stickler. They did alright with it. They made a movie out of something that's extremely important in lore, which is the near complete elimination, near genocide of every Witcher. Where, in the movie, well, in essence, in the universe, the school of the Wolf Witchers, there used to be a shit ton of them. There's many of them. They kind of all they all return to Kaer Morhen, big castle, kind of chill there, talk about what they've done, hang out like bros. Witchers kind of scare people. But they all got massacred except for a bunch of new recruits being like 10-year-old children that went through the Trial of the Grasses, which were pretty much they fill you with as much herbs as they can find and poisons and say, here, survive. Trial of the Grasses, terrifying yet fascinating to hear how it's described and how it works. But The Nightmare of the Wolf focuses on that night, the attack on Kaer Morhen, the near complete genocide of every Witcher.
Dang.
In the movie, a small bit of a spoiler, so why Kaer Morhen was attacked was this enchantress woman has a theory that witches keep creating more monsters so they can stay in business. Because witchers' job is to hunt monsters. If there's no monsters, they lose their job. And being a witcher means you walk through a door and that door is gone. There's no going back. There is no going back to a normal life. You will be weird, you'll be an outcast no matter what. So, this enchantress the sorceress that gets a bunch of people together, they attack Kaer Morhen. As I'm not going to spoil the entire movie, there's something that's proven.
Alright.
So, and this is very important, since it is like the Age of the Witches are kind of going down, there's less monsters.
Yep.
So no new witchers need to be made, which is okay, which is good. Because the only people that can make new witchers are dead, as they were killed in the attack of Kaer Morhen. And the books talk about it, but no one's been able to put it into a visual form in such an amazing way as Nightmare of the Wolf, which you feel the fear of every witcher. You feel the anger. You see how Vesemir goes from like a really cocky witcher, this really cocky guy that kind of like he's a bit of a dickhead. But in every single Witcher thing that's ever created, there has to be a half-naked guy in a tub, which there is one scene, and it's absolutely amazing. But Vesemir being such a very important character in universe, as he is kind of this fatherly figure to the Witchers we see in the first 3 games, and even Geralt of Rivia himself. Vesemir is not a trained... He's not trained with like dealing with the signs or monsterology to a giant extent. He's the duel master. But he has to take on that role of teaching what weaknesses go with which monster, alchemy, herbalism, stuff like that, to about 5 people that could die at any time. And at that time, they were like 10. Very young.
Oh.
Could die at any moment. And I just like, although it's not perfect, although I'm pissed off at what Netflix did to The Witcher, also getting rid of
Uh,
our Geralt of Rivia,
I
that
kind of relate,
animation is just so good. It's worth a watch, and I've watched it a few times, and it wows me every time. It's amazing. It's so cool.
it's number one,
It's
correct?
number one for me.
Last but not least, it's our great grand host, Sunfee. Enlighten us, Almighty One. What is your number one?
You want to know what's funny? I find this hilarious. All three of my number one is kind of the combination of your guys' number one put together.
It's Boku no Pico. I knew.
Not, I will stab you in your sleep.
Wait, what? What happened?
My number one is Doctor Stone.
Ooh.
Ohio, okay, good morning, world. Know that one.
Yep.
I mean, I've seen bits and pieces here and there. My brother Preston actually loves it a lot, but why do you put it as number one when One Piece is like the one you never shut up about?
Because it is my it's my everything. I when I first heard about this anime, I was in a halfway home. That's why I keep quiet about it because I don't like revisiting those memories. I
Dang.
don't like talking about there. But to deny one of the pieces of happiness that this anime has brought me would be an injustice to it.
Mhm.
This anime is everything to me. It's a chance of. It's part of the reason why I am called Sunfeet
Ah.
because the world becomes stone, and the main characters get a second chance to bring back humanity and save it, to
Mhm.
bring back technology in order to bring back humanity. They That to me is amazing because it says, "Hey, yeah, the world sucks. The world will always suck, but you got to fight for. You have to have a reason to keep fighting. Otherwise, what's the point? What is the actual point? If the world was to become stone tomorrow, if I was to wake up in that universe, why would I keep fighting? That's how I see the world. And for me, my answer is very similar to the main characters.
Mhm.
I want to protect my friends. I I would fight tooth and nail to make sure that they were safe. If the world turned to stone tomorrow and I was one of the first ones to wake up, there would be no rock, no anything that I would not turn over to make sure that my friends were okay. And if they had shattered for whatever reason during the years and years of everything, I would give them the proper burial that they deserved. And I would not stop until I made sure that either they were safe and I was able to bring them back, or they had a proper burial.
Sounds pretty awesome. So that's why you left it at number one, huh?
Exactly. I try to keep quiet about it because it's not as hype and enduring as One Piece. It's more thought provoking.
Really tells me you and
To me.
Orgo would get along very, very, very much from Iron Blooded Orphans, because it's like that's actually one of the taglines in the show as well. Because uh, Mikazuki actually like uh, asked Orgo what to do next, because it's like they they offed a dude. They literally show that off in the first episode of them actually shooting a guy. I still don't know why though. But Orga basically was like, "We're gonna go," and it's like Mika's like, "Go where?" Orga will then simply say, "We're gonna go to a place where both of us belong, where we don't have to worry about anything anymore. We're gonna go find the place where we belong." And after hearing that, Mika was kind of like, "Yeah, yeah, let's go there." And that's kind of like the synopsis for those two. Is like they basically will go hell and high water for anybody that wants to go with them to wherever that place may be. So that's why Orga is always doing everything in his power to protect everybody in Tekkanen, because he sees them as family. Not going to let family die. It's basically how Orga runs. And Mika will follow suit as well. He will do anything that Orga says, because he believes that Orga is doing the right thing. When you mentioned that story with like Dr. Stone, I'm like, yeah, you and Orga would get along very well because you both have that similar idea of like, I'm gonna protect my friends and I'm gonna make a better place, or go find a better place. So yeah, so I guess that's everything then, right? That's all of our anime
Yeah,
top 10 list, huh? What's chat thinking? Did chat leave anything? Like, how did they respond?
we've got nothing yet.
Yeah. Perhaps maybe in the YouTube comments, like, it's okay if I ask the comment section if to leave their comments below of what they thought about our list and stuff like that.
Leave a comment, or we will
Speaking about
find
the
you.
YouTube channel, if you're on the YouTube channel, click that subscribe button. It will help us out a lot with
Mhm.
us being able to do this full time. So click that subscribe button.
And if you guys did enjoy our picks on our list, let us know down below on what you agree with, what you disagree with, which ones you would have put on your list. Let us know, like, because this would be a fun little discussion to have with you guys.
We have some new stuff
That being
coming up.
said, how do we end the show?
Murder.
Until next
No.
time, this has been TPK Otakus. You guys roll to survive another night. Good night.
Yes, take care. And
Everybody.
love being TPK'd. We got new stuff coming soon.